Hey everyone! For our presentation today, we'll be taking you on a journey through the history of pre-modern Japanese weapons and armor, exploring how these tools of war evolved alongside the society and culture of Japan. From the humble stone tools of early hunter-gatherers to the sophisticated and iconic samurai weaponry, each era reflects not just the technological progress, but also the changes in the battle tactics and influence from neighboring cultures. Let's dive into the timeline of Japan's weapons and armor, starting with the Jomon period.
In later years, we found that this period likely began around 16,000 years ago and ended around 1000 before the Common Era, gradually transitioning into the next period. During this time, the weapons were primarily functional tools made from stone, bone, and wood. The early Jomon people crafted knives, spears, and arrowheads mainly for hunting and gathering purposes. These weapons were simple, with flake stone tips used to hunt game like deer, boar, and smaller animals. The focus of these tools was daily survival rather than battles and defense. There have been no weapons found particularly designed to kill other human beings like swords, leading us to believe that the Jomon society did not have large-scale wars or conflicts. Instead, it was a relatively peaceful hunter-gatherer and partly sedentary community. They moved seasonally and had semi-permanent settlements. This absence of conflict made armor and protective gear unnecessary. The Yayoi period started around 1000 before the Common Era, around the same time as China's period of war and conflict. Many people, mostly from Korea and China, migrated to Japan, a more peaceful country, to escape the chaos. They brought with them items and agricultural tools made from new metals like bronze and iron. The new agriculture and farming techniques of this time made communities want to start settling for good. So this led to an increase in population and wars between different villages, and iron quickly began to be used for weapons. During the Yayoi period, weapons included early forms of the chokuto, which were straight-bladed swords, as well as spears. Bronze weapons like daggers and ceremonial swords served not only in battle but also in rituals, showing their dual purpose. Early bows were used for both hunting and combat. As for armor, Yayoi warriors typically wore basic protective gear made from wood or leather. With some armor reinforced with iron, though, this was rare and reserved for higher ranking individuals.
In the year 250 of the Common Era, the Yayoi period came to an end, leading into the Kofun period, during which the Yamato regime emerged as Japan's first centralized government, led by the powerful Yamato clan. The great kings of this regime often interacted and fought wars with the countries of the Korean peninsula in search of iron resources and iron technology. The arrival of iron technology allowed for stronger weapons. Among these were the tachi, the weapon from which the katana was derived from, designed for slashing from horseback, which became a key weapon of the era. The yari, or spear, became important since it offered greater reach in battle, while the yumi, a longbow, continued to be a vital weapon for early Japanese warriors. In terms of armor, the introduction of lamellar armor, crafted from small iron or leather plates bound together with leather or silk cords, offered better protection on the battlefield, and was used by the running elite. Also, Haniwa figures from this period show warriors wearing helmets and cuirasses, showing us how wars became more organized. The Asuka period, which began in the year 538 of the Common Era, is marked by the rise of Buddhism and political power by the Yamato clan. The continued use of tachi swords, yari spears, and yumi bows led to important improvements in their design and craftsmanship. The tachi, known for its curved blade, improved in balance and cutting power. Changes in weight made it easier to handle during mounted combat. Thinner blades improved its cutting agility, and advancements in metallurgy led to stronger and sharper blades. The Yari's design evolved with a longer and more robust handle, which allowed for even better reach. The spearheads started featuring barbed or wider blades for increased damage. Chinese and Korean influences introduced new combat strategies and martial techniques, making Japanese warriors more efficient. Armor sets for the elite had far more intricate designs. They were made of superior materials like silk for the lacing and the straps and lacquered metals, which are metals coated in protective decorative finish, making the pieces incredibly beautiful.
The samurai emerged during the Nara period, around the year 710, as a distinct social class, becoming important military leaders whose status was linked to owning land and serving in the military. So this period marked the beginning of a shift where loyalty and martial skill became defining characteristics of the samurai, securing their role as basically the backbone of Japanese military power. As combat evolved, so did the weaponry and armor used by these warriors. The use of spears and bows increased since archery was a key component of samurai training. Although they were trained in various martial skills, archery, particularly with the yumi, the longbow, was essential for developing accuracy, focus, and discipline. Armor sets, on the other hand, began to include protective gear for arms and legs, such as armored sleeves called kote and shin guards called suneate, allowing for better protection. Also, the kabuto, a traditional Japanese helmet, was mostly worn by samurais as an important part of their armor. It was often decorated with crests symbolizing the warrior's clan or status, showing the importance of honor. This period established the samurai values of loyalty, discipline, and martial skill. During the Heian period from the year 794 to about 1185, weapons evolved especially to meet the changing needs of the samurai class. The naginata, a pole arm with a curved blade at the end, became popular for its effectiveness in slashing and thrusting, making it a favored weapon among samurai for its versatility. The tanto, a small dagger, served as a crucial close combat weapon for samurais, often carried as a secondary option and sometimes used in the ritual of seppuku, which is a form of suicide ritual which they practice, restoring honor after failure. This act showed their bravery to their lord, reinforcing their honor code. Additionally, the bokken emerged as an important tool for training, allowing samurais to practice their swordsmanship safely without the risk of injury. The oyoroi, a large and boxy armor, was developed especially for mounted archers, offering excellent protection during combat. However, its very heavy design made it less suitable for ground fighting. To further improve the full body protection of mounted warriors, kusazuri, which are hanging plates, were added to protect the lower body, making sure that they were better equipped for battle while on horseback.
When the Heian period ended in the year 1185, the Kamakura period started. During this period, the katana emerged as an important weapon. A type of katana, called the Leijutsu, with its curved single-edged blade, started slowly replacing the tachi due to its suitability for quick draw combat. The yari spears and the naginata continued to be widely used, providing it was effective not only for mounted but also ground combat. In terms of armor, the O-Yoroi remained a staple for mounted warriors, while lighter and more flexible designs like the Domaru gained popularity among foot soldiers. It wrapped around the body like a vest, offering better mobility while still providing solid protection, with the same small iron or leather plates laced along the cords, found in the O-Yoroi. In general, armor designs evolved to be more practical, showing the increased importance of foot soldiers during this time. The Muromachi period, which began in the year 1336 of the Common Era, was a time of great change in Japanese warfare, defined by new weapons and adaptations in armor. One of the biggest changes was the arrival of the Tanegashima, a type of matchlock firearm, in 1543, and it was brought to Japan by Portuguese traders. Named after Tanegashima Island, where it first arrived. This gun marked Japan's first encounter with Western firearms.
Unlike traditional bows and swords, the Tanegashima could be used effectively by less trained soldiers, giving armies a powerful new weapon that could pierce armor at a distance. In response to the growing threat posed by these weapons, samurai armor went through significant changes to offer better protection. Armor sets began to incorporate reinforced chest plates and the tameshi kusoku, or bulletproof armor, specially designed to resist the impact of bullets. Therefore, the Muromachi period shows a critical time of adaptation in Japanese military history.
The Azuchi-Momoyama period, beginning in 1573, is basically a continuation of the Muromachi period warfare-wise, marked by the growing use of guns and bulletproof armor. This era, built on the political and cultural changes of the previous period, continues on the strategies in samurai warfare.
For the samurai, weapons like the katana were more than tools. They embodied their honor and spirit. A samurai's sword was considered an extension of his soul, representing his loyalty, skill, and dedication. Mastery of the katana took years of discipline, and the warrior's bond with his weapon reflected his personal code and duty. Every strike in battle was a demonstration of not just martial skill, but the samurai's character and honor.
The introduction of firearms disrupted this sacred relationship. Guns required little training and allowed combat from a distance, removing the personal nature of combat that defined the samurai's honor. The elegance and precision of a blade were replaced by the cold efficiency of gunpowder. As warfare shifted, the deep bond between a samurai and his weapon, built on mastery and precision, began to disappear, as battles became less about personal skill and more about firepower. And so, with the rise of firearms, the era of traditional weapons and a samurai's deep connection to them slowly came to an end.